Second series of the night. Welcome back to WTL World Team League 2024 Summer Contest Round 11. As game 1 is going to be on Ocean Board. As a reminder, game 1 as we are jumping in and spawning in the top left hand corner, we have we have Kelazhur for Platinum R8. And in the bottom right, we have uThermal for OFFSYDE Esports. The reason why I was... there we go. I swear they had uThermal's name as blue on the UI. I swear it was blue. Hold on, just fixing up the title. Switching the team names around. But here we go, we are going to be opening up. Again, keeping our Raxes back at home. No crazy proxy, not to start things off. No crazy early game shenanigans. So we are going to be settling in. There we go, double gas open out of uThermal, double gas out of Kelazhur. This is for a faster factory. This is for a delayed CC. We're going to be entering a bit of a more aggressive start. Go Kella from Brazil. Ah, fala galera, papi. Fala galera. Let's go. And Kelazhur, he has a lot of Brazilian fans out there, I'm sure. Great to see some of them in the chat. Now going to be opening up, and I'm curious what we embrace here. This could be Reaper Hellion. This could be Fast Cyclone. Could be even for a Widowmine as well. Even a one base all in. My eyes are on our players' factories and now on the way. We have our initial Reapers, and we'll see if we do go for a faster add-on or additional Reaper production. As both players are mirroring each other. I'm going to be mirroring. You can see Kelazhur is checking for any kind of proxy at his third base location, checking out the fourth. It is unwise to move out with your first Reaper just because your opponent has Reaper production as well. They have the defender's advantage. So we're going to be keeping the Reapers back at home, at least initially. Both players expanding on the low ground. Second Reaper on the way. And we're following this up with a Cyclone from Kelazhur, Hellion from uThermal. Okay, so the first big deviation between our two players. Hellion is gonna have a little bit more maneuverability. Kind of allow you to harass across the map. Cyclone in a head-on fight will come out on top. He is a little bit more versatile in that sense. He is more defensive as well. You can see uThermal not too far behind with his own Cyclone. Now that we have the Hellion, we're moving out. uThermal can catch out these Reapers. Cannon will. Massive volley goes off. Massive volley does connect. Ooh, one Reaper goes out. That's a big loss for Kelazhur. Does have a Cyclone, but now he's down a Reaper. Nice lock on. Oh, can we get... We can get the Hellion. Big snipe there from Kelazhur. Does trade a Reaper for a Hellion. Good trade here from our blue Terran. Reapers, they dip into the main. A bit of a late response here from Kelazhur. SCVs are under fire. We get one. We get one. We get... Oh, a second SCV as well. And we're just going to be sacrificing our Reapers. Getting as much economic value as we can. As much economic damage. Likewise, Kelazhur also stepping into the main. Kelazhur loses 2 SCVs, but he gets 2 as well. Impressive. Okay, despite Kelazhur only having 1 Reaper, he gets an even amount of damage. So Kelazhur does take a slight lead. Both players calming down, getting into their 1-1-1s. We can see uThermal going for the initial drop play. He's also a Protoss fan. Let's go. Both players moving out with their Cyclones. Now, this is going to come down to control. Who unloads first? Who unloads first? Who lock onto to what? How fast can we react? As the drops are coming in. Oh, they just spot each other. Kelazhur, he wants a medevac. No, he wants it, and he's gonna get it. Ooh, big pick off. Medevac goes down. uThermal 1 second too late to respond there. And Kelazhur, he gets the hell out of there. Cheese it. Does back the hell off. Again, these are no major wins or losses. It's all, slowly adding up. But so far, a good pick off out of Kelazhur. This does mean that now he's safe back at home. Now he doesn't have to worry about drop play. And he can back off, repair his units, and get ready for the mid game. Meanwhile, Kelazhur's going for a 2-base all-in. 2-base all-in out of Diego. Do you see what I see? Second starport. It's going to be a 2-port 2-base all-in. Kelazhur doing his best special impression. Doing his best Juanito impression again. This is a build that Special did popularize many years ago. uThermal going for a 3rd CC, so uThermal's going for a longer game. This is ideal for Kelazhur. The more resources spent on economy and less so on units is going to make it that much more difficult for uThermal. Now, with that second starport, the way this build works out is Kelazhur, he's amassing Vikings. You can see 3 Vikings at a time. He's going to amass Vikings, make a Liberator as well, and his goal is to get air control with his Vikings and for that Liberator to just bully the ground army and commit to his all-in. It's so important for uThermal to scout this. If he scouts, he can respond with his own defensive starport to try to keep up in Viking production. As we're dropping towards the natural. Ooh, Marines in position. Drop is deflected. Vikings are amassing for Kelazhur. Is going for the Raven variation. Now, fun fact, this is a newer version of this all-in. Traditionally, back in the day, this wouldn't be done with Ravens, but nowadays, Terran players have been mixing them in. To the build that Kelazhur is going for, I mean. Army moving out. Ooh, Kelazhur does bleed off one of these Cyclones. But he's pushing forward. Ravens are good, but remember, that's why Kelazhur has all those Vikings to zone that Raven away. Liberators in production as well for Kelazhur. He's committed. He is all in, and he's going for the kill. And uThermal hasn't seen everything yet, so we can disable those tanks. Scanner reveals the army location. Kelazhur rotating over towards the left-hand side. uThermal, he's there to spot the movements. He will spot the main army. He sees the Vikings. He knows. uThermal does know, but can he stop it? That's the question. Tank volley going off. Kelazhur biding his time. And he's going for it. He's going for the disables. We do unsiege just in time. A quick move there out of uThermal, but ooh, doesn't unsiege the second tank. One tank goes down within range of the 3rd CC. Liberator has arrived. Order Hearts get thrown down. uThermal's going to be able to hold on. He takes down the Lib. That's a kill. Oh, that's a kill on the CC. Massive pickoff. And GG gets called. That's going to be game. And Kelazhur takes game number 1. Whew. GG, well played. As Kelazhur does take the win again. If uThermal was aware of what was going on, typically the response is to go for a second starport. As a reminder, even if uThermal, for example, if you're referring to him having a Liberator, he doesn't have air control. He's down in Vikings, so Liberator would just die. But here we go. In top right-hand corner, we have Kelazhur. In the bottom left, we have uThermal. Let's go. But that's the power of the 2-port all-in, is that you have air control, is your mass Viking. That's why typically your response is to throw down your own second starport to catch up. Catch up in those Vikings. For now, though, we're going to be settling in. So I apologize. I apologize if I didn't make that clear. Do apologize. As of now, we're going to be getting into, again, Alkyone, a much larger map. You know, we can settle into it, I believe. I want to believe we can. We keep an eye on our openers. Kelazhur going double gas, so is uThermal. Once again, we're going into faster factories. The CC is going to be delayed. We saw in the last game that Kelazhur was faster to rush into the initial Cyclone. We saw that last game uThermal went for the faster Hellion. In the earlier trades, Kelazhur took a bit of a lead. I'm curious if uThermal will adjust and go for a Cyclone instead. We shall see. Now we're calming things down. uThermal scouting the low ground, checking, making sure there is no proxy racks. Not uncommon to go for a proxy even in your own natural. uThermal even checking the triangular third as well. Okay, really safe play here out of Mark. You can see on the minimap the movement of that worker, just again, just really being as safe as possible. Does set him slightly behind economically, as uThermal even checks the other third base location. The linear third. Just really scared of any kind of proxy play. And if this was a best of 3, I fully understand. But we can see here Kelazhur just going for a standard setup. CC on the low ground. Once again, Kelazhur skipping that Hellion, going for the Cyclone. So, same builds. It's the same build out of Kelazhur, going for the passive Cyclone. Same build out of uThermal, going for the Hellion. The only big difference here is that uThermal, he did have an SCV scouting, which meant that it wasn't mining, unlike Kelazhur. Reapers are moving out. Now, uThermal can punish this. Oh, as uThermal, my apologies, sir. He went for a reactor on the racks. He's going Reaper Hellion. Oh, again, there's a bold move from Kelazhur. He has to make sure he doesn't get caught out. Does spot the Hellion. And uThermal, he's not stopping. He's not stopping Reaper Hellion production. It's a bit of a coffee setup, a bit of a coffee build to move out across the map to commit. And we'll see if Kelazhur gets caught. If he's too active with those Reapers, he will lose them. So Kelazhur has got to be careful. More Hellion Reapers amassing. Now the goal for uThermal is to dive into the natural, dive on top of the Cyclone, focus it down, and then just cripple the economy. Just wreak havoc in the mineral line. And we'll see if he can get there. So still massing up. We have 3 Reapers and 3 Hellions. Sorry, 5 Reapers, 3 Hellions for the time being. uThermal now getting into Marine production, but he's moving out with his force. Likewise, so is Kelazhur. Uh-oh. That means Kelazhur's going to be exposed back at home. That means we can go for the mineral line. We can send it. Yeah, Kelazhur getting caught with his pants down. The Cyclones won't be at home to defend. He's going to have 1. And is that enough? It shouldn't be. The army does reveal itself. Boys are being pulled. SCVs are getting roasted. Cyclone is going to be able to hold on. At the same time, double Cyclone drop into the main. And Kelazhur, he has work to do. He loses 8 SCVs. Gets into the main base. Gets some economic damage done, but the tank is sieged. That big tank volley goes off. We have to pick up. We have to pull back. Across the map, that's 10 SCV kills. Can we get the tank? Oh, we forced out a Raven. We forced out the auto turret. Kelazhur does boost back. At the same time, Kelazhur will be able to force back the main army of uThermal. We'll finally be able to mine from the low ground. Likewise, the Cyclones, they're barely alive. They're barely still kicking, and they deny mining. We get 10 SCVs. 10 for 10. Very nice control here from Kelazhur. Oh, he wants the Raven. Not going to get it. It's tempting. Reapers, they get into the main. They're the power of the Reaper. They rotate back and forth between the main base and the natural. They get another 3 SCVs, 13 in total. Thirteen SCVs go down. Oh god, those Cyclones are so low. Do punish 2 of those Reapers. And as the dust does settle, again, it was a very, very chaotic moment. Very chaotic back and forth between Kelazhur and uThermal. And the Kelazhur, he's only down 1 SCV. Only down 1 worker. Again, it's thanks to that Cyclone harassment, of course, from Kelazhur that he was able to fight back. Able to even up the economies. And uThermal doesn't have the lead that he wanted. Doesn't have that lead. And the scary thing about what just happened is that, remember, uThermal, he had committed into Reaper Hellion. That means uThermal is down in Cyclones, he's down in Marines. But the Reapers do hit the natural once again, getting another SCV. They should be shut down. Yeah, Kelazhur will chase back those Reapers. He's moving out across time. That's the second starport for uThermal. uThermal following this up with a 2-base all-in. He's going for the same build that Kelazhur went for in Game 1. Oh boy. So uThermal, he likes what Kelazhur did in Game 1. He's going to do it himself, but he needs time. He needs time to really embrace that 2-base all-in. Meanwhile, Kelazhur is already moving out. He's getting a 3rd CC behind this. Does scan, does spot the tanks. And remember, the Marine count for uThermal is much lower because of those earlier Reapers. And we can make use of those Marines. Dropping into the main base, going for the tank! Tank getting low. Auto turrets, they try to focus that. They get it! Full medevac falls! Very nice pickoff. We get a full medevac worth of Marines. Kelazhur rotating around, but a nice spread of tanks. Yeah, uThermal holds. Thermal does defend, and I believe Kelazhur, I don't think he saw the second starport. I could be mistaken. I'm not sure he has. Yeah, he didn't get that far in. Now behind this, uThermal's going for a third CC, so this is not the same build. It's similar. We're still going double starport, still going mass Viking. You can see 3 Vikings being made at a time. uThermal is going to be committed, but he is expanding behind it. He is expanding. Meanwhile, oh my god. Ravens are spotted. Auto harass across the map. SCVs are going down. Oof. Yeah, a lot of economic damage, but bearing in mind that this means that the Ravens won't be at home to defend. The Ravens of Kelazhur won't be at home. Now they're turning back around. They still have a lot of energy, and uThermal's committed. He's moving in. He has the Viking lead. Tanks are sieging up. Big disable on the tanks. Every tank is disabled. And with that uThermal, he's breaking through. He's going to shut down every single tank. Where were the Ravens? They were not at home. And uThermal, he will commit in. Again, with the Vikings, he can focus on the Ravens as well. We have defensive auto turrets. Boys are being pulled. They have to be. And the Vikings do land. And can uThermal hold on? The tanks are cleaned up. The auto turrets, they put in a lot of work. You can see uThermal smiling a little bit there on cams. He almost had it. He almost broke Kelazhur. But remember, Kelazhur, he already has a third CC. May have lost some workers, but he holds. Whew. Kelazhur, he does hold the line. Just barely. And now we have a massive upgrade advantage for Kelazhur. He's got 1-1 on the way. We've got combat shield stim is done. From the side of uThermal, the E-base is still on the way. The E-base, they're still on the way. He's far behind in those upgrades. uThermal does have a Viking lead, and you can see he's going for some Viking harass. At the same time, Kelazhur moving out with his double drop of Marines. We'll see who can get more damage here. uThermal isn't out of this, but there's a lot of pressure on him to do something here to Kelazhur. The drop is deflected. Vikings, they dip into the main. They don't quite commit. uThermal pulling back. Behind this, getting into mass lib. Second factory, it's going to be mech. Oh boy. uThermal, he's going to mech it up. We're going to make it happen, Papi. Let's go. Oh. Don't quite get the Raven. But again, because uThermal has the Viking advantage, in this kind of position, Liberators do make a lot of sense. And we're just turtling up. Turrets, libs, planetaries, tanks, siege lines, you name it. uThermal, because of his disadvantage in this game, he's going to slow the game down to a crawl. At least he's going to try to. Oh, medevacs, they do break in. Turrets are under fire, mineral line as well. Nice drop here from Kelazhur. Takes down some turrets. Denies mining time. He's going to be cleaned up. But he does drag the army out of position. And can we break the front line? If we had Ravens, I think we could. Our boys are being pulled into the Marines. Vikings going to be landing as well. 11 SCVs go down. And Kelazhur, can he break uThermal before he stabilizes? He's going to try. Throw down a wall of auto turrets. But it looks like uThermal will barely hold on. Yeah, the disables run out. It does cost us 17 SCVs. uThermal holds, but that was a costly hold for the Red Terran. And this means that Kelazhur, he maintains his economic advantage. 2-2 is on the way. And again, Kelazhur is trying to make use of his more mobile army. Trying to. So it's on uThermal to go for drop play, to deny it and delay the fourth for as long as he can, and to mass expand. It's at 2-2. Double drop once again. Ataris have been rebuilt. This is a risky maneuver here by Kelazhur. Very risky. Same time, we get some lib harass across the map. Fusion core on the way. That should be for Liberator range. We could try to rush into BCs. BCs are viable in TBT. They're kind of like the ultra late game, like Sky Terran versus Sky Terran. So we'll see if we embrace Lib range or BC production. I should be Lib range. We don't really have any tech lab set up. Third starport's on the way. Again, that third starport, high sec auto tracking. I imagine once the other one near steel frames. All the upgrades. Let's go. Likewise, Kelazhur trying to keep up in the Viking count. You can see here, 4 starports on the way. Again, TBT, it's all about tank or marine tank initially. It's like bio tank versus bio tank, and then it turns into Viking versus Viking. And there it is. BC production has begun for uThermal. This does make sense. Basically, we're being greedy. This is the equivalent of like a Protoss player rushing into Skytoss. It's risky. It is risky to rush into Skytoss, but if you can get away with it, it snowballs out of control. Similarly here, where uThermal, he is starting BC production. We'll see if he can, likewise, get away with it as well. Meanwhile, with that 4 starport production from Kelazhur, he's going to be catching up or keeping up in Vikings. For now, catching up. Getting into Mass Viking. uThermal must be careful not to lose these initial Vikings. He is moving out, but he's going to be punished. Yeah, 1 or 2 Vikings going down. We're going to get a 3rd Viking as well. Ooh, just barely not. But these are expensive losses, or these are rough losses. Vikings are crucial here when it comes to protecting your BCs. As the BCs do need that kind of buffer, especially early on. Meanwhile, Kelazhur is about to max out. We can see uThermal taking a 4th. But it's not going to be easy to expand, not going to be easy to take this 4th base. Lib does find a tank. Not bad. We can see Kelazhur max expanding towards the top left. Going down more CCs. But what I want to see, because right now the observer is showing the upgrade tab, I would love to see the units tab here. I want to know how many Vikings we have right now for both players. How many Vikings, Pat? As the BCs are amassing. Lib range on the way, +1 ship weapons. There it is. 16 Vikings for Kelazhur, 7 for uThermal. Uh-oh. That is quite rough here. That means Kelazhur will win the battle in the air, and that means once he breaks through, he can get on top of the BCs. Yeah, BCs are revealed, they teleport. Now Kelazhur knows. He's aware. Let's defend the front lines for now. Kelazhur pulling back, more turrets on the way. This is what makes up for our lack of Vikings, is these turrets. If uThermal's able to force a fight with the help of his turrets, then he can make up for that lack of Vikings. Can make up for it. As you can see here, we're slowly pushing forward with tank lines, with more turrets. Kelazhur's been maxed out for a while, but uThermal, he's about to max out himself. More starports on the way, more BCs. That BC count is getting quite high, though. I think we're getting up to, yeah, soon to be 4, soon to be 5 BCs. Meanwhile, uThermal's got 0-0 on all his units. 2-2 on the way for Kelazhur, for the Vikings specifically. He's got a much higher Viking count and soon to be better upgrades. He scans. Honestly, he can just commit into this, 100%. Yeah, he's going for it. Liberators have arrived. Vikings going for the BC. They get 1. 1 battlecruiser goes down. 2nd battlecruiser as well. And uThermal, his air army is just being bullied back. To save 1 BC. Teleports across the map. The turrets to finish it off. Oh my god, it goes down to the turrets. Ay, ay, ay. uThermal had 5. Now he's down to 2 battlecruisers. Reinvesting into Vikings. Again, he was not aware that Kelazhur had that many Vikings. Kelazhur was keeping them hidden on purpose. Was more of a surprise. And Kelazhur, he has the air superiority. He has the air control. Takes down the tank. Rotating around. The tank line here is looking quite weak for uThermal. I think he's got 1 tank on the low ground, 2 on the high ground. Turrets are on the way. And we stim in. We commit to the dive. We focus on the tanks. There are 2 tanks on the low ground, actually. So that's a decent amount of tanks. Ooh. Yeah, we hold. uThermal does hold. More turrets on the way. Let's go. That was a much better fight for uThermal. Kelazhur, he misjudged just how many tanks there were. Let out a lot of supply. Ooh, this looks like too many Liberators from Kelazhur as well. Like, it's all about that air control. Liberators are okay, but not going to be the most important factor here. Yeah, we're making 10 Vikings at a time. You can see that Kelazhur still has the Viking lead. Still does maintain it. But this game should turn into Sky Terran versus Sky Terran. Like, that's the late game TBT. We should slowly, like, kind of ease off of tank production for uThermal and bleed them off. Like, Kelazhur, he also threw away a lot of his bio and he's not replacing it. It's all about the Sky Terran. Likewise, turrets as well. I'm loving these turrets from Kelazhur. You also see this in PvP for Phoenix Wars, where because in Phoenix Wars you're making nothing but Phoenixes, you can set up these outposts of cannons and shield batteries. Similarly here, you can set up these outposts of turrets where you can catch out to the Vikings of your opponent. You have these kind of like safe zones to pull back to kite back to even. So really smart play out of Kelazhur. Liberators, they get a tank, but honestly that helps uThermal. Like, as he loses tanks, he's replacing them with Vikings and BCs. Like, we want to get rid of these tanks. Like, the tanks are not going to help in the main fight. Likewise, that's why I'm a little bit afraid of all these Liberators for Kelazhur. Because their uses are quite limited. But I guess they can also support the air fight as well. They have some slash damage, you know, in air versus air. Sieging up. We can't push into this turret line. Basically, uThermal, he's kind of drawn these lines of turrets and we cannot get past them. Same can be said though for Kelazhur. And uThermal is going to be contained. He's going to be contained. We're throwing away SCVs. Freeing up supply. And we commit! Yeah, turrets have gone down. And we do pick off 2 of those battle cruisers. Not a bad trade there for Kelazhur. Takes down some BCs. Meanwhile, he's denying mining here towards one of the fresh mining bases of uThermal. One of the mining bases of uThermal. Kelazhur getting to more lid production. 33 Vikings for Kelazhur against the 19 of uThermal. uThermal has 15 tanks. Again, this high tank count for uThermal, it's hurting him more than anything. Like, we have too many tanks. Far too many. Because of that, Kelazhur will have the edge in all these fights. And now that we're kind of reached the critical mass of Viking, now we have Ravens. Ravens are going to be so important for both players as well. Again, that's also a part of Sky Terran. Ravens, they can disable the opposing player's tanks. They can also throw down auto turrets as well to help out with the anti-air. Anti-armor missile on the Vikings. Like, the Vikings, they're prone to stacking, so one solid missile will cover all of these Vikings. So Kelazhur, he's one step ahead. He's one step ahead when it comes to his army composition. If we can get a missile on the Vikings. Likewise, if we can disable the BCs, then Kelazhur will take the fight. The only thing stopping Kelazhur is the turrets. Like, because uThermal has so many turrets, it's really hard to commit in just because it's free damage. Like, Kelazhur has no way to clean up these turrets. Oh! Army spotted. uThermal in the midst of moving out does bring his entire army together. Tanks that will clean up some of these turrets. Okay. Making use of the tanks. Throwing down our own. You can see we're slowly breaking out with our turrets here. Gaining territory. Lib's gonna siege up. We commit to the fight. Turrets aren't ready. Uh-oh. Yeah, uThermal, he's fighting without his turrets. Mrs. Turrets are not ready. We disable one of the BCs. We shut them all down. And now we can take the fight. And Kelazhur is gonna snowball out of control. He has a massive Viking lead. And GG gets called. Kelazhur will take the 2-0. GG. Oh my god. What do you have for us? What do you have? Oh, he's doing the math. He's doing... I don't know what I just saw. Regardless, GG, well... Ace player for Platinum Heroes as well when he was on the team. And now we do face off against each other. And here we go in the top right-hand corner. We have YoungYakov for Platinum R8. In the bottom left, we have Firefly for OFFSYDE Esports. Here we go. YoungYakov going for a 15-15. Interesting. Okay. 15-15 opener out of YoungYakov. Is going for a slightly earlier expansion. What does this mean? This means that the expansion timing for YoungYakov is just in time to be on location and just before this probe gets across the map. Oh, and we're going for the gold. Let's go. This is a lot more common on this map. Okay, winding it back a little bit. So in a longer standard game, YoungYakov would be at a bit of a deficit or a bit of a disadvantage just because it's hard to actually maintain that gold. But that's also why we've seen a rise in popularity of this build. We should be going for a Roach Rush. We're going for the gold base real quick, real fast, into a Roach Warren, into a Roach based all-in. So very aggressive setup here out of YoungYakov. Again, this is a lot more common on Dynasty, which is why Firefly should be quite fast to scout this. Meanwhile, we can see YoungYakov is checking the opposing gold base location. Firefly likewise will check the gold base of his opponent. Now, YoungYakov is aware that Firefly has not taken the gold. Likewise, Firefly aware of the natural base of YoungYakov. And how do we respond? How do we react? What is the plan for Firefly? Oh boy. As the pressure is going to be on Firefly to not just punish the gold, but also, oh, he's even tasing away at these drones, but punish the gold base and also survive the eventual all-in. Now, I'm making an assumption here that it's going to be a Roach base all-in. We'll see if that's the case. We'll keep an eye on YoungYakov. As this base isn't just a gold, it also has a rich Vespene gas geyser. We can see for now YoungYakov getting into his spawning pool. His gas, of course, mining in the main. It's going to be an adept opener out of Firefly. And it's interesting that Firefly has not taken his own gold. I do like this. This does favor Firefly. It means that his natural expansion is going to be safer. Especially against the opener of YoungYakov. That's a little bit more ideal. So his mineral line will be safe against the aggression of the Zerg. Adept is moving out. And we'll see what we can get done. As Lings are on the way. And the Queen is in production as well. Adept threatening a shade. Do threaten, but we don't quite commit. Delaying some mining time. Second adept on the way. Joining up with the first. Ling's taking a lot of hits, taking a lot of damage. Nice trades here for Firefly. Yeah, and now two adepts can one-shot drones. And we get in, we get one drone, we get a second, we're gonna get a third drone as well. Very nice damage, 3 drone kills, both adepts survive, and we have more adepts on the way. Have a third adept now, Oracle's in production, and we're coming in for another dive. The Queens will shut down one adept. Oh, they barely shade away. Oracle's moving out. YoungYakov has split up his queens. Has split them up. And so far is in position. So we'll try and catch transferring workers. We do activate the pulsar beam. One adept goes down. Does cost us a lot of lings. Better pick off here for YoungYakov. Oracle hits the gold, gets one drone, gets two drones, but it takes a lot of damage. Yeah, bit of mismovement from Firefly. Not quite punished, but the Oracle takes a lot of hits, takes a lot of damage. Second Oracle likewise making its way into the gold mineral line, getting one more drone, getting two more drones. Oh, we barely don't overextend. We barely don't. Another drone falls. We get 5 worker kills. Oracle's race back. And YoungYakov has not thrown down any tech. He's been droning. There's the Roach Warren. But it's a bit of a later Roach Warren, so we're not going for any kind of early kind of crazy all-in. Roach Warren on the way at around the 4-minute 40 mark. Against a Stargate opener, this Roach Warren is early. I will say that at least. It's a little bit earlier. Another Oracle hitting the main. Queen's in position. Revelation gets eyes on the Roach Warren. And YoungYakov is keeping up. Behind this, Twilight Council is finishing up. Ooh, we have a Twilight Council, we have a Forge, +1 and Blink on the way for Firefly. And you can see how efficiently he's been trading. He's got an 8 drones and 14 lings for only 2 adepts. And my eyes are on YoungYakov. I'm curious if he's still going to go for the all-in. He's droned up a little bit, but you can see that YoungYakov, his cut work is at 45. Yeah, he's making roaches, yeah. We're just committing to roach production. Lings are on the way. This lair could be for Dropper play. It could be for Nidus as well. But it does seem like YoungYakov is going for an all-in. And Firefly should get eyes on the lack of saturation. It gets more drones. We're massing up nothing but Ling Roach. YoungYakov is committed. Yeah, shield batteries are on the way. Firefly, he recognizes how few drones there are. He's like, hold up, what's going on? And it's going to be a Ling Ravager all in. Ling Ravager, Queens are waddling across the map. The lair is done, which means Overlords can spread creep. No Dropper Lords, as we don't have Overlord speed, but creep can be spread nonetheless. Ooh, going for a Spire. This is wild. Spire? Okay, interesting. Oh my god, a massive stasis. We catch the Lings. YoungYakov sending everything across the map. Again, it's all or nothing for YoungYakov, but now he's joining up. Okay, so he's joining up. He's going for the Spire. Really risky transition here from YoungYakov. We'll see if we can get away with it. Oh, as he bleeds off more drones. Looks like YoungYakov recognizes that this most likely won't work. Biles, they do connect though. Very nice around. Ooh, the Biles are brutal. They shut down a lot of the Stalkers. Overcharge runs out as well as we focus on the shield battery. Boys are being pulled and Firefly will hold. It does cost him a lot of workers though. Is a 12 probes going down, but we can chase down the Ravagers, the Queens. Ooh, we can clean everything up. And I'm worried that YoungYakov doesn't really have the economy to sustain Mutas. Like the Spire, that's why the Spire is a really bold move to me, because we're still making roaches, we're investing into roach speed. We have the Spire, but no Mutas yet. And we can't make them. If we make Mutas, we die. Yeah, there are too many Stalkers, and we're going for a massive counterattack. So many Overlords going to be going down, and this will supply block YoungYakov. And GG gets called, and Firefly will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Firefly will fight back for himself and for his team and put a point on the board. Again, there's a lot of pressure on firing energy. In the top left-hand corner, we have YoungYakov for Platinum RH. In the bottom right, we have Firefly for OFFSYDE Esports. He's locked in. Not wasting any energy on any inefficient body movements. Prioritizing everything into the brain and into the hands. The power of Firefly. Ay, ay, ay. Here we go. We are getting ready for game number 2. Again, it was YoungYakov's map of choice. We'll see if we can bring it back. Firefly looks like he's in a hospital. It's a white room. It is a white room. But you can see his bed behind him. His bed on the left. The bench. Ah. We're solid. As it is going to be a much more standard opener this time. Hatch gas pull out of YoungYakov. Not going for a 15-15. Likewise, gate expand from Firefly. Not as locked in as YoungYakov, though. He didn't even blink once yet this entire series. True, true. He's not even playing with his hands. He's playing with a DDR pad. He's going full larva, man. Full larva. Playing with his feet. What a chat. Play like old Yakov? No, no, no. He's young adult Yakov. Young adult Yakov, man. Just for now, we're settling in. Is going to be that initial gate expand from Firefly. And we'll see what kind of tech he goes towards. It should just be a Stargate opener into a third base. I don't really expect anything too crazy from either player in the early game. But we'll keep an eye on both Firefly and YoungYakov. We did need that, right? We needed that eventually where, if you remember Snoot, he was like a DDR champion, right? Am I crazy? I think he played like in like Europe's Got Talent or something as well. Playing DDR. In his prime, we needed some Snoot DDR StarCraft gameplay. We needed that. That feels bad, man. We missed our moment. We missed our opportunity. As we have the Overlord Scout into the main, YoungYakov does confirm the Stargate opener. He is fully aware. Is fully aware, at least, as we enter kind of a more standard mid-game for the time being. YoungYakov likewise droning, no like early tech, no early Roach War, no early Lair. Nothing crazy like what he was going for in game number 1. Just droning up, just chilling, just chilling. Ah. And it's going to be on YoungYakov to keep up with his Queen movement to make sure that he minimizes his losses against the Oracles. Behind this, Twilight Council's on the way. This is an early Twilight Council out of Firefly. Uh-oh. You know what that means? Glaive and Epps. As a Twilight Council before the third base is even halfway done. 2 more gates on the way. No Forge. Glaives are going to be on the horizon. Now, YoungYakov is going for an early Roach Warren. The Roach Warren is going to be done in time for those Adepts, and it looks like he might want to go for his own aggression here. There's no reason to have a Roach Warren this early on if you're going up against a Stargate opener, if that is a tell. Adept shade in, they get 2 drones, they're going to be shut down. Ooh, that is not Glaives, that is Blink. This could be for a 3-base all-in. We'll keep an eye on the gateway counts, but typically if a Protoss player goes for Blink and doesn't go for the Forge, it leads into a 3-base, 8-gate all-in. For now, we have 4 gateways. 4 gates on the way, Lings, they move out, Lings going to be shut down. Roach Warren is done for YoungYakov, but he is not making use of that Roach Warren. So it looks like it was just a safety Roach Warren out of the Zerg player. So if it was Glaive Adepts, YoungYakov would have been ready for it, but it isn't. It is not Glaives. So the Roach Warren is a little bit of a waste here. This could have been delayed. Firefly still on 4 gates. Still no Forge. And my eyes are glued to that production tab. Show us the gateway explosion. Oracles, they dip into the main. 3 drone kills, not bad. We get a 4th drone as well. Oh, a little bit greedy. We get a 5th drone, but we take a lot of damage on that Oracle. YoungYakov going for Hydras, so it's going to be Roach Hydra out of YoungYakov. Ooh, that's quite a gas-intensive unit composition. He's getting into +1 range as well. We'll see if this works out for him. We'll see if he can keep up with the aggression of Firefly. Stalker's moving out. Oh my god, going for the dive on top of the queens! Their first queen does fall. Very ambitious move here from Firefly, just catching YoungYakov just before he's ready for this. We get another queen. And 2 queens go down, Oracle's on home position, they take down the mineral line, drones are falling, and YoungYakov, he's caught a little bit here with his pants down, boys have to be pulled. And Firefly CranKy back. Getting another queen. It's so low, it's so close to going down. YoungYakov will defend, he does make a wave of roaches, he should be able to hold on. Reinforcements take a long time to arrive here for Firefly. And we can see that now Firefly is going for extra gateways, he's going for 3 extra gates. I believe a forge was thrown down, a charge on the way. Firefly is getting ready for a 3-base setup. Just again, a bit of an earlier Stalker push because of the fast blink, and he did catch YoungYakov out. Didn't kill him, did maim him. Still maintaining his position. Shaving off Lings. We're getting ready for that follow-up. Even punishing some of these roaches. And this is going to be a really interesting mid-game here, where Hydra's now on the way, so it's going to be Roach, Hydra out of YoungYakov. Meanwhile, Firefly is going for a very gateway-heavy composition, going Blink Stalker, Charge Lot, Immortal. No splash damage, no Disruptor, no Colossus, no Storm. So Hydras, they can do a lot in the back line. If this was an 8-gate all-in, I would have been worried for YoungYakov, but it's not. Firefly, he's expanding, he's taking a 4th base, we're working towards a later game. He did not go for that earlier, 3-base all-in. Oracle gets shut down. YoungYakov amassing more Hydras. Is just going to be amassing more Hydras here. And it looks like YoungYakov is going for a max out. So YoungYakov, his cut workers at 67, that is 3-base saturation. So only 3 bases and maxing out. Very committed here at a YoungYakov. No saturation at his 4th whatsoever. And YoungYakov, he wants Firefly to push into him. That is the ideal, as YoungYakov has not been droning. Setting up for a surround. He's coming in from behind. Force wheels are thrown down, but they get shut down immediately. Oh my god, the piles! The piles are solid, but the force wheels are still standing strong. Firefly does hold his own. Prism has arrived. More reinforcements are on the way. Do we have any force wheels left over? We have a handful of them, but that's all we have left. The Immortal's going to be targeted down. 1 Immortal remaining, but it does fall. Have we lost too many roaches? A lot of roaches have gone down, and that means that the Hydras are exposed. And Hydras, these are expensive losses here for YoungYakov. Firefly, he's breaking through. Getting on top of the queens, the Hydras as well. Reinforcements are on the way, they do warp in. And Firefly is snowballing out of control. Came with the production. Boys are being pulled, they have to be. YoungYakov in a lot of trouble. Does lose 6 workers, but he does hold on, and there we go. He forces back the main army. And YoungYakov is holding. He's holding for now, but now we have a massive warp into the main. And we're getting on top of the Hydras. And they force back the main army. We're getting on top of the main force as well. Once again, boys have to be pulled. And we're pulling YoungYakov apart, left and right. Shaving off so many workers. And we barely had any workers to begin with. Remember, YoungYakov, he cut workers at 67. He was 3-base all in. And now he's down to 50. Down to 50 workers. Firefly has a massive economic lead. The longer this goes on, the better it is for Firefly. And it may not even go on that much longer. The base 1 shot away from going down. 1 shot. The hatchery's so low. Zella Orbit will finish. Will complete. Oh, the Hydras will shut down the prism. But the hatchery does fall. The hatchery gets cleaned up, and now Firefly is rotating over towards the southern hatchery. Zelda wreak havoc. They get another 6 drones. Catching more reinforcements, and Firefly is going for the 4th. Now the new 3rd. Barely doesn't have enough. You can see Firefly, he does need some extra warp pins. There we go. 8 more Stalkers on the way. Firefly was banking a lot of resources there. The warp pin does kick in. I would love to see some further tech, like either a Temple Archives or a Bay for Firefly. But I mean, he can still just commit to a Gateway Army and still break through. The Hydra count is getting higher. Getting quite high. Lurker Den on the way. And can YoungYakov survive long enough to get into Lurker tech? It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be a rough hold. Far, nice concave. Oh, the Prism! Up! The Prism goes down. The Immortals as well. Massive pickoff. Yeah, we sniped the Prism. We sniped the Immortals. Best case scenario for YoungYakov. And now we're forcing splash damage. We have the Temple Archives on the way. That's going to be for Storm. That's going to be for Archons. The Mass Hydra is holding. We're holding, Papi. Bearing in mind, a lot of the supply for Firefly is in his economy, is in his work. So the soup does lie. Bear that in mind. That's why Firefly doesn't have enough to break YoungYakov here and now, but he's pulling him apart. Oof. YoungYakov out of position. The base! Oh, he gets dragged out of position. Not like this. The base goes down. YoungYakov down to 2 bases. Lurker Den is done, and he can catch this force. That is true, but we need more than that. We need much more than that. There it is. Storm is on the way, and that's going to be the kill move, the kill shot the Firefly needs. I mean, even without it, we're still doing well. We're still pulling YoungYakov apart. And here comes the all-in. It's all or nothing for YoungYakov. He's moving out. Some of the roaches are caught. Yeah, just a really awkward engage here for YoungYakov. Pushing up a ramp, pushing into a concave. GG gets called, and Firefly will take the 2-0, tying up the series at 2-2. Ah. GG, well played. We have a series, we have a back and forth. Jumping into game 1, and in the bottom right hand corner we have Goblin for Platinum R8. And in the top left we have HeRoMaRinE for OFFSYDE Esports. Let's go. Or off mouse, if you prefer. As Gabe did partner with OFFSYDE for WTL. Unfortunately, it was a late partnership, so Gabe wasn't here for the first, 3 quarters of the season, but towards the end here, Gabe has been the ace player for his team, the new ace, essentially, and OFFSYDE Esports are better off for it. Their roster is looking quite solid, but we are nearing the end of the season here, and we'll see if Gabe can bring it back and put another point on the board for his team. When it comes to the overall standings, I believe OFFSYDE Esports cannot make it into the playoff bracket. But I believe Platinum Heroes, every win does count for them. You know, I feel like a lot is in the balance here depending on some of the results of some of these other teams. Like Platinum Heroes, they need to win this series and they have to rely on other teams losing their own matches as well. So it's still up in the air. Their tournament placing and standings are still in the balance. Boy. For now, it's going to be an economic opener out of Gabe. It's going to be a Rax Expand. Oh, sorry, my apologies. Double gas opener. I was looking at the wrong player. It's going to be a double gas opener out of HeRoMaRinE, which means we're going for a faster factory. We're going for a delayed CC. So a bit of a more tech-heavy, aggressive start from Gabe. As the factory is on the way, the Probe Scout does confirm the factory timing, and the second gas as well. So Goblin is aware. Back at home, just a gate expand, or gate cyber expand at a Goblin. Probe is shut down. And Gabe has options. This could be for a Widowmine drop, this could be for a Cyclone drop, could be for early Banshee, could be for a tank drop as well. There's a lot of different builds that can, of course, branch out from double gas. We'll see what it's going to be. Meanwhile, Goblin going for a Stargate opener. I mean, Goblin is Roddy's firstborn. True. Is Roddy's firstborn, and as a result, he has to make Phoenixes. Not just contractually, but, you know, it's just in him to do that. So going to be a Stargate opener. This should be for Phoenixes, for map control, to embrace a longer game. Maybe even into Phoenix Colossus. Meanwhile, Gabe is going for his 1-1-1 setup. Starport is on the way. CC on the high ground as well. Really safe play out of Gabe to go for the CC on the high ground. Reaper should be shut down. And is cleaned up. And I believe the Reaper did not scout the tech, as the Stargate was thrown down a little bit further back. It would have been close. Oh, actually, did we see it? It would have been close there. We got, oh, we checked. Oh, he did not see. Oh, the Observer also was questioning that as well. So Gabe is not aware of the tech of choice, whether it's Blink or a Stargate. Gabe is in the dark. Behind this is going to be opening up with a bit of a kitchen sink. It's Cyclone into, or it's a Mine to Cyclone into another Cyclone. We're going for an early push, and there's a lot of potential with this move out. And what I will say is that I do think that Goblin's going to be in a bit of trouble. Like, Phoenixes early on are not ideal. Phoenixes, they struggle a little bit. They do rely on a higher Phoenix count to, like, CC, crowd control, and shut down earlier pushes. We'll see what Gabe can get done. As we're moving out with Cyclones, Winter Mines, and Vanilla Marines. Oh boy. It's going to be 2 Cyclones here for Gabe. A second Cyclone's on the way. And how good is the Mine Shot going to be as well? Shield Battery's in position. We have the Overcharge. Widowmine does burrow in time. Overcharge is popped. That is going to buy some time. Gabe should wait for that to run out. Oh, we saved the Widowmine. Just barely. Widowmine is saved. So we get some lock-ons. The Overcharge still coming into play. We pick up the Mine. We pick up the Cyclones. Yeah, nice defense here. We shut down the Widowmine. We shut down the Cyclones as well. And Goblin will hold. Whew. Get a clutch hold here out of Goblin. He will chase this down as well. Phoenix is getting low, but it looks like nice control. We shuffle the Phoenixes back around. We take down the Viking and the Medevac. Gabe losing a lot here in this push. And we're not happy. We're not done. We want that Cyclone. We commit to the Shade. Marines are going down. And Gabe is going to be stuck at home, bleeding off a lot of units. Behind this, the Bay is on the way, so it is going to be Phoenix Colossus out of Goblin. A very solid army composition, you know, tried and true Phoenix Colossus. Phoenixes, they deter any kind of drop play. Colossus, they shut down any kind of bio-aggression as well. It's a really solid way to get into the mid-game. And again, Gabe is just stuck at home. Throwing down 2 more Raxes. No third CC yet. Liberator moves out, but we're in position. Oh my god, we're in position. Liberator gets shut down. There's no blink for the Stalkers, but the Phoenixes are on the way. Phoenixes, they're on the way to hunt down that Lib. And can they find it? They barely do spot it. Yeah, Gabe is racing back. But yeah, he's going to be shut down. We clean up the Liberator. So far, Goblin in a very, very nice position. Taking his third base, starting up his Colossus production. Extra gates are on the way to reinforce. And now my eyes are on Gabe. So after the failed early push, where do we go from here? No third CC yet. Now, it's still a little bit too early to determine whether or not it's an all-in. There we go. Third CC is on the way. It is not an all-in. We're going for our third base behind this. It's going to be expanding. Yes, Gabe is moving out, but he's really just looking for map control. I don't really think he intends to commit. He's just hoping to find a Phoenix. Hoping to find a Stalker. Whatever he can get his hands on. As he zones the Phoenixes away, reinforcements are coming. Oh, the Medevacs! Oh my god. Hey, take some hits. We'll take some more hits, actually. Phoenix is forcing Gabe back home. Delaying the third CC, going for the Marines. The Mines! Oh! Missed movement there out of Goblin. Big Mines to the face. Massive connections. And the Phoenixes are very softened up. Yeah, Gabe able to catch those Phoenixes. Good positioning here with those Winter Mines, forcing the recall. But at least Goblin confirms a third CC. So now he himself knows that Gabe is expanding, is working towards a longer game. That means that Goblin is safe to take a fourth, to expand himself. And there it is, fourth Nexus is on the way for Goblin. He knows he's safe to do so. Moving out with Colossus. And is refining his army with +1 and charge. The charge that's going to be on the way. Rocks are being knocked down. Goblin just making sure he has his half of the map secure. Just looking to secure himself. Now we're going to be moving out. If Goblin sees an opportunity, he can try to dive on the main army. But the third base should be looking pretty secure for Gabe. Goblin has to be careful. Does poke in. The concave is looking solid. We catch out a Cyclone. Yeah, Cyclone goes down, collapsing on top of the main army, but we cannot commit off the ramp. Yeah, Goblin bleeding out a lot of his Zealots. Yeah, Zealots are bleeding off. We do peel off towards that third base. More reinforcements on the way. The Colossus, they're getting so much damage done. Oh my god, those 3 Colossus! They go to town on the bio. And at the same time, we're just zoning the main army away from the third CC. SCVs are going down, and Goblin is coming in for the kill. We do reinforce. The Prism has arrived. We deny any kind of mining at the third base. And Gabe, he's under a lot of pressure. He's under a lot of pressure. We collapse on forward as well. 15 SCVs go down. The mine shots are pretty solid here on top of the Phoenixes. Likewise, we kite well here. We kite back against the Zealots, but the Colossus, they rain down on the main army. 1 Colossus does fall. And it looks like Goblin barely does not have enough. He cannot break this. Oh, I say, oh my god, the Colossus, they take down the Marauders. Big swipes. Goblin overextending for a moment, has to pull back, has to pull away. Vikings getting a lot of free damage. The Stalkers will zone them back. The mine! Oh my god! Mine takes down a Colossus! Ay, ay, ay. The HeRoMaRinE! That's a massive pick up. Colossus goes down, but remember, behind this, Goblin is on 4 bases. His economy is getting out of hand, it's getting out of control, and Gabe has a lot of recovering to do. He has to reestablish his third base, building up his army. We have a second robo making 2 Colossus at a time. Goblin, he's working on another Nexus, getting a 5th base. And there's barely an army at home. Yeah, Goblin is coming in for the kill. HeRoMaRinE, he risks it all going for a double drop, and the double drop is going to get a lot of damage done. But what about the main army? What about the bases back at home? And remember, Goblin can always recall if he needs to. Can always recall. He's going to get killed on the CC. Yeah, we have Warpins back at home. GG gets called, and Goblin takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Goblin's crazy. GG, well played. Again, Goblin, he took down Beyond 2 weeks ago. Lose for Platinum Heroes, or Platinum R8 to make it through. But here we go, we're jumping into our next game, and spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have a Goblin for Platinum R8. In the bottom left, we have a HeRoMaRinE for OFFSYDE Esports. Or Off Mouse. Hello, Mr. SCV. Now, with this SCV move out, this could be for an eBay block. This could be for a proxy racks into a bunker as well. We have options. We do have options with this SCV. And it looks like we're going for the racks. Okay, we're going for the proxy racks across the map. Now, this is not just for the Reaper to get into the main. Like, the Reaper harassment is going to be a part of it. The bunker is going to be another part of it as well. Assuming that Gabe also goes to the bunker at the natural to deny mining for as long as we can. So a very aggressive start for Gabe. We'll see if it pays off. We shall see. Goblin is... No, is he checking? He is! Will he scout it though? He's checking towards the left, and oh, he does. He does come across the racks. Massive scout for Goblin. He sees, he confirms, and now it's on RNG. Now it has to be all about the RNG here. Okay. We're going to be able to continue, and we do finish the racks. The racks will complete. The racks will finish. As a Goblin was not able to deny it. But at least he knows. You know, he has a piece of the puzzle. He's aware. Second probe moves down to make sure that there is no eBay block or bunker placement. Yeah, the SCV taking a lot of damage. And a Goblin is going Zealot first. Whew. So again, very nice scouting here out of Goblin. And he shouldn't take too much damage from this. There is still potential for Gabe to like out control and out micro and pick away at the mineral line. That is true. Zealot out of position. Reaper does get in. Oh, does get in, and we're gonna be able to get a worker here. Boys are being pulled. We do have a wall. Oh, the Reaper stuck. The Reaper, no, the Reaper's trapped. The Reaper goes down. Ay. Big overextension from Gabe. Does get 2 probes, 1 across the map and 1 at home. But the Adept has arrived, and a Goblin should have control of his base. So again, just really nice SimCity out of Goblin to be able to create that wall and to catch out that Reaper to lock it down. And Gabe has some catching up to do. He's going for a second racks back at home. This could be for a 3 racks follow-up. That would make sense. Reaper trying to dip in. Again, there's a full wall. So Goblin does defend. He's going to try and chase that Reaper down. Yep, there it is. It's going to be 3 racks. Okay, so we have 2 racks on the way. It's going to be a 3 racks follow-up. If you're curious what this is a stim timing. Stim timing out of Gabe. He's going into a mass marine composition, into stim, into potentially some marauders as well. If this was Blink Stalkers, for example, as an opener for Goblin, then marauders would make sense. We can see it's going to be a Stargate opener. Oh, okay, never mind. Sorry. I didn't notice that the factory was already done. So this is going to be a 3-1-1. Before Starport. I mentioned before that this is a good map to embrace a longer game on. Based on this production setup, this looks like a 2-base all-in. Looks like the beginning of a 2-base all-in, or at least 2-base committed play. What I'm referring to is that we have a big delay on the Starport. Big delay on the Starport. And so because of that, we're going to be building up a massive bio army. We're going to have a lot of units to work with. We have Stim on the way as well. I could see Gabe pulling the boys with this. Our sign is we're looking for the Starport. If we see the Starport being thrown down, then we most likely will not pull the boys. So we'll keep an eye on Gabe to see how committed he wants to be with this. Stim is on the way. We have the Edgy Bay as well. Getting to our initial tank production. It's going to be so important for Goblin to scout what's going on as well. His moving out is going to be denied the scout into the main. Cyclone's reposition. Bold move going for the pylon. Going to be able to harass across, or reinforce across the map. Getting an SCV. But Goblin has not seen the production. He has not seen the production, not yet. It's going to be interesting. Okay. Stargate opener into 4-gate blink. Interesting. I do kind of like this. So against a 3-1 setup like this, Blink Stalkers are ideal. But the problem is, because it was a Stargate opener, Blink is delayed. Blink is delayed, which means it's going to be a little bit more difficult to slow this push down. We need Blink as quickly as possible. Goblin reinforcing. Here comes the move out of Gabe. No Starport. Do we pull the boys? And we are moving out. Goblin getting caught. Forced to cancel. Okay, we're not pulling the boys with this. We have a Starport on the way. So Gabe is working towards a longer game, but this is still a very committed move out here by Gabe. I say Gabe's working on a longer game. He should be working on a 3rd CC behind this as well. Now very committed though. Stim is done. He's holding onto the Stim. Doesn't want to waste it. Doesn't want to waste that Stim. We bleed off a Stalker. Blink is still not done. Yeah, Blink is just about to finish. Shield battery is going to go down. And Gabe, he even depowers the Twilight Council. Thankfully, Blink does complete. But we're getting on top of the base. The boys, they have to be pulled. Can we lift up the tanks? We can. Oh, but alas, they're going to focus on the Phoenixes, and we're going to clean up the ground army. GG gets called, and Gabe is successful with his push, breaks Goblin, and will tie up the series. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, a very aggressive move out. That's the biggest thing I was concerned about for Goblin was his blink timing. Again, to go for a Stargate first and then to deviate towards blink, that was a risky move out of Goblin, who was caught with his pants down just before he was ready. And Gabe did commit to his push with Stim, with our tanks, did break Goblin, and that means we're going to the ace match. Let's go. It all ends here. It all ends in Game 7. And the question becomes, who's the ace player? Who is the ace? I feel... Okay, we're going to be loading into Post-Youth. The map is predetermined. We're loading into Post-Youth. Gabe feels like the obvious pick. I mean, it comes down to how Gabe feels about Post-Youth. The other option would be Firefly. Firefly would make a lot of sense, especially if Gabe is tilted. So it depends. Like, if HeRoMaRinE feels good, then he's going to be coming out. If he's feeling a little bit off, then he may pass the torch to Firefly. As Firefly would not be a bad option. When it comes to Platinum R8, I think it has to be Goblin. Regardless of if they think it's Gabe or if they think it's Firefly, I feel like Goblin makes the most sense. One moment though, as we are paying out those predictions. I got you. Predictions are getting paid out. No one went 1-1. You're crazy. Oh my god. Shaking my head. But we had people going 2-0 for Goblin or 2-0 for HeRoMaRinE. 0 people predicted 1-1. Aye, aye, aye. All right, well, here we go. Here we go. We're getting ready for the ace match, and predictions will soon be open once we get our ace players ready. For now, TBD versus TBD. Bam. All right, here we go. So is it going to be Firefly or Gabe? Is it going to be Goblin, or the other option would be Kelazhur, if Kelazhur is feeling strong, if he's feeling good. But I think at the moment I do rate Goblin a little bit higher than Kelazhur. I do think I rate Goblin higher. So I feel like it's going to be Goblin, but we'll see. We'll see. The house gets all those points. It does, it does. The pond, Bobby, the pond. It takes all the points. Aha. Here we go. And who is it going to be? Do we have an ace match between HeRoMaRinE and Goblin? I mean, that would be fitting. That would be fitting. Does Firefly come out of left field? Again, I do think Firefly is a valid option for OFFSYDE Esports. Especially if he's feeling good after his wins. If he has that momentum. If he's hyped. We go. Now, our teams are still deliberating. They're still deciding amongst themselves. We might go on a short break here until we have our ace players. We're just lying in wait. Both teams, they have a little bit of time to themselves to pick their players as well. So we'll give them that time, of course. Give them that time. And yeah, we are headed for that break. See you soon. See you soon. we have our pick. Okay, out of left field. It is not going to be a rematch between Goblin and HeRoMaRinE. It is going to be Gabe versus Kelazhur in a TVT. Oh boy, here we go. It is going to be that ace match, or it is going to be the ace match between these two teams. If you're in the chat, predictions. Predictions are now open. Place your bets. Who's going to take it in this TVT? Kelazhur. He, of course, was flexing his TVT prowess earlier against uThermal. Bearing in mind, uThermal's best matchup was TVT, and this feels like a snipe. This feels like a snipe. Feels like Goblin and Kelazhur, they were probably discussing amongst themselves, who do they favor against Gabe on post-youth? And they came to the decision, it's going to be Kelazhur. So, Goblin and Kelazhur, they did, I imagine, agree to this, and I'm curious, Diego, what are we cooking? In the top right-hand corner, we have Kelazhur for Platinum R8. In the bottom left, it's going to be HeRoMaRinE for OFFSYDE Esports. Let's go. Let us go. Again, predictions in the chat, they're about to close. So place your bets while you can. Who will win this all? Will it be Gabe or Kelazhur? Will it be OFFSYDE or Platinum R8? Who's it going to be? Who is it going to be? Again, Kelazhur to me is a little bit more of a wild pick, so it has to be for a reason. It has to be because he has something special in store for us. I'm sure Kelazhur was already preparing for TVTs, getting ready for his own series against uThermal, if you remember, if you recall. And Kelazhur did take the 2-0 over uThermal, so he's going to be confident in his TVT matchup. But Gabe is still Gabe. He's huge, he's massive, he's big. He's HeRoMaRinE. For now, double gas opener out of HeRoMaRinE. Meanwhile, Kelazhur going for a Rax. Oh, double Rax opener. Okay, interesting. I was about to say Rax expand, but Kelazhur is going for a double Rax opener. This is designed to shut down proxy play. Speaking of, you can see Gabe checking for a proxy Rax. He does check his third base location, or I guess his fourth base location. So Gabe is a little bit paranoid, making sure he's okay. Meanwhile, Kelazhur, with this 2-Rax opener, he's going to have earlier Reapers and more Reapers early on, true, but again, this is more designed to shut down proxy play, more than anything. So we'll see if Kelazhur is able to make use of these earlier Raxes. We can turn this into a 2-1-1 and turn this into heavy bio play, into drop play thereafter. But now Reapers are on the way, and if Gabe moves out with his first Reaper, he will be caught. He'll be caught out, he will lose it, and things will very quickly snowball out of control. So Gabe has to be very careful with this first Reaper. As it does move out, he's checking his own third base location. He checks the gold. You can see that Gabe is just scouting for now. He's not committing with his Reaper, thankfully, and will keep it back at home. Meanwhile, Kelazhur continues Reaper production. Expansion now on the way for Kelazhur. First Reaper moves out. Ooh, commits up the ramp, but we will be not shooting first as HeRoMaRinE was in position. So Kelazhur, he takes some extra hits. It was a bold move out of Kelazhur to move out like that. But he's luring Gabe out. Well, he's trying to. Gabe getting into his own second Reaper. Kelazhur diving back in. Who shoots first? Up! It's going to be Kelazhur. If Kelazhur does shoot first, takes down the first Reaper. Big win for Kelazhur. Now he delays the CC, and he can keep pushing. He can keep going. Cyclone's still on the way. Oh, and we can get another Reaper. A Cyclone does arrive just in time. We punish the Reapers. First Reaper goes down, and Gabe holds. Whew. That was a very tense moment. Things could have gone very south real quick there for Gabe. But the Cyclone arrives, and we hold. Gabe does hold on. Back across the map, Kelazhur getting into his own expansion, getting into his own factory. And we spoke about the 2-on-1 timing. There it is. Stim is on the way. So really fast stim out of Kelazhur. Factories in production. We should be going into a starport, into drop play thereafter. Now, this isn't seen too often, like 2-on-1s. This is more often seen against Zerg. Very rarely seen against Protoss and Terran. The reason for this is because, sure, we have a really fast stim timing. True. Really fast stim for Kelazhur. But we lack tanks. We're going to be lacking tanks, and a lot of TVT is about tank v tank. It's about positional play, so Kelazhur is going to be quite behind when it comes to the overall tank production compared to Gabe. Meanwhile, there's a starport. We should be getting a reactor on the factory. Yep, there it is. A reactor on the factory into an add-on swap into reactored medevacs. While Cyclone's moving out across the map, Marine's getting in position. Cyclone drop towards the main, but Kelazhur is ready for it. Cyclones, they do drop. Yeah, they drop in time. And they do pick up a Marine or two. Likewise, we confirm Stim. Third CC has been spotted as well. And without Stim, we cannot really punish this. Yeah, Stim going to finish up in 4 seconds. And can we catch that medevac? Boosting into the main. Once again, very nice control out of Gabe. It takes down even more SCVs. 2 more SCVs go down. To pull away. Overall, good trades out of Gabe. He hasn't lost anything. He picks off Marines, picks off SCVs, delays some of the production, and he scouts everything. He's fully aware of the 2-on-1, and he's fully aware of the third CC as well. Gabe throwing down his own third. Army Sims in. Do catch one Cyclone, but oof, we're bleeding out too much. We're bleeding out too many Marines. And HeRoMaRinE is gaining ground. Takes down the depot. Going for another almost supply blocking Kelazhur. A second depot does fall. Kelazhur trying to keep up, stimming down the ramp. Oh, but we're forced to stim and we're bleeding out too much. And again, these are really solid trades here for HeRoMaRinE. Behind this, he's catching up in his own third CC. And remember, HeRoMaRinE, he's already got that tank lead as well. As we're getting into tank production and the tanks, they have arrived. Oh, big tank volley goes off. And we're pushing in. Oh my god. HeRoMaRinE being so aggressive here. Hyper aggressive. Tank is sieged up, and can we deny combat shields? It's going to be close. Boys are being pulled. SCVs are going down. Another disable on the tank. These vanilla Marines from HeRoMaRinE, they're pushing in, and it looks like we will not deny combat shields. Does finish, but we take down the racks. We take down the tank as well. Very clutch. Thankfully, these combat shields are complete. Another tank has arrived. Yeah, we have a second tank now for Gabe. And we have energy on these Ravens as well. And we're just pulling Kelazhur apart. Again, this is the downside of opening up 2 ranks like this, is that it's so difficult to even deal with the initial Cyclones. Liberator trying to find a good position. Will siege, auto targets get thrown down to focus on the Lib. Liberator will fall. We break through, we get on top of the tank as well. Kelazhur going for the dive. Going for the drop, and it looks like he should finally clean this up. It will take down both tanks. So Kelazhur's holding. But he lost so much here. He lost Raxes, SCVs, his third base was delayed. He lost tanks. And Gabe back at home, he has a massive lead. He's up in workers, he's taking his third base as well as we speak. Getting to his own bio upgrades as well. The pressure is on Kelazhur. Pressure is on. And again, Gabe just had a really solid response to punishing this 2-1-1. That timing that Kelazhur wanted to go for, it's not really there anymore. It's no longer there. Sensor tower being thrown down just to make sure we can keep up with drop play. That's really the one advantage that Kelazhur has, is, you know, his stim and combat shields on the Marines. Cannot push up the ramp. Gabe is ready. Gabe maintaining his economic advantage. And soon Gabe is going to be able to catch up with those upgrades. Now, Kelazhur can still fight back with drop play, whether it's into the main, into the natural. He can also try to outposition his opponent. Even if you're down in tanks, you can still take some better fights. It is possible, but it's on Kelazhur. It's on Kelazhur to make that happen. Rotating on the right-hand side. Oh, we have Vikings ready for drop play. Sensor tower finishing up as well. Gabe, I mean, he knows he's ahead, so he's just securing himself. Turtling up. Making sure he's ready for any kind of drops. For any attempted comeback here from Kelazhur. Going for his own triple drop towards the left-hand side. This is a scary moment. Like, right now, there's a lot of pressure on Diego, on Kelazhur, to go for drop play. So he's active. He's active with these drops, active with these Marines. That means that he has very little at home to defend. Does catch the Cyclones. Not bad. Cyclones go down. So it was a risky move for Gabe to go for this drop, but it's going to pay off. We're getting on top of the tank. We do have some reinforcements, thankfully. Tank goes down. SCVs as well. Oh my, we got so many SCVs. Yeah, 15 SCVs go down. We clean up the bio. We're going for the Liberator as well, and we will barely not get it. Liberator does survive, but it costs us 15 SCVs, a massive amount of economic damage. Gabe crippling the economy. Kelazhur looking for those medevacs, hunting for them. And he might be able to catch them as well. It's going to be close. Up! Up! He catches them. Gets two. Nicely done. Let's catch both medevacs. But Gabe still has a supply lead, and he's moving out. He's moving out. He's got tanks, he's got Marines, he's got Ravens, a massive anti-armor missile as well. The missile does connect. And Kelazhur has to back off. Now, the defender's advantage on post-youth is quite powerful. There's a lot of ramps. We're trying to keep up with the movement of Gabe. Kelazhur going for a counterattack instead of catching reinforcements. But Gabe, he gets up the ramp. We disable the tank. We go for the CC, and Kelazhur is going for a base trade. It's his only chance. He's going for a massive counterattack. We'll also bring down the third CC. At the same time, Gabe pushing up the ramp, pushing towards the main. Liberator getting a lot of damage done, but we break in, and we're getting on top of the production. When it comes to the base trade, Gabe, he's already in the main base. GG gets called, and HeRoMaRinE will win it all here for OFFSYDE Esports. GG. Whew. GG, well played again. It was a brutal start for Kelazhur. I mean, a shout out to Platinum R8. They made it all the way to the ace match. It was a very, very intense back and forth. Went all the way to game 7. Was not an easy one to call at all. But when it came to the openers, it was just a rough start. It was just a rough start there for Kelazhur. The initial 2 racks wasn't ideal if there was no proxy. He tried to turn that into a 2-1-1, but Gabe was so quick to scout it and to punish it. He was just all over Kelazhur, abusing him, abusing the fact that he had no cyclones of his own. He had very little maneuverability with his Marines, and things very quickly escalated out of control. GG, well played. Gabe does take the win, and that is the end of tonight's broadcast. Tomorrow we're going to be back with more World Team League. It's going to be Twisted Fairy versus Mystery All Gamers, and Psystorm Gaming or Psystorm Na'Vi versus Weibo Gaming. Oh boy. We have more matches coming up. And yeah, with that, hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Hope you all had a great time. Again, this is the final round of World Team League. The final round. After this, playoffs. Playoffs are coming up ahead of us as well. I believe there's going to be a bit of a break in between the round robin stage and the playoffs. So we have a couple of weeks off for that, but we'll be embracing the playoffs in the coming weeks towards the tail end of the month. Look forward to it. Do look forward to it there. GG, well played. But again, we're going to be back tomorrow, not just with day 2 of World Team League, but also with the KSL. The Korean StarCraft League is going to be taking place tomorrow in less than 24 hours. It is right around the corner. Let me just double check the times here, and yes, it is going to be in 12 hours. In 12 hours time, we're going to be live here on the channel with the Korean StarCraft League. So if you want to tune into some Korean on Korean action, or even Korean on American action, then we got you covered. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're maybe a little bit less aware of what's happening when it comes to some of the foreign players and what's happening in Korea, then maybe you wouldn't be fully familiar, but Clem, Estrella, Trigger, and Future, the 4 NA boys. Clem has been adopted. He's being influenced quite heavily by the other NA players. They're all living together in Korea. They're all living together. They got an Airbnb, and they're all in Korea to practice, to improve, and to get ready for the Esports World Cup. They've been there for 2 weeks, I think for 2 weeks now, and they've been improving. They've been improving a lot, and it shows. It definitely shows in their online tournament performances. And because they're in Korea, they've been playing very consistently in Kung Fu Cup, ESL Asia, and in the Korean StarCraft League as well. So they have been very active in those Korean weeklies and have been getting better and better results. So it's really cool to see their rate of improvement while they're in Korea and while they're preparing for the World Championship, for the Esports World Cup. So keep an eye on the 4 of them. Of course, only Estrella and Clem will be a part of the Esports World Cup, but Trigger and Future are basically allowing themselves to be practice partners. Their practice partners are also improving. They're also helping Estrella and Clem improve as well. They're committed. They are committed to the improvement of Estrella and Clem. So it's really cool to see. They also allow for a better practice environment as well. So that is currently occurring over in Korea, and they're going to be there tomorrow or in 12 hours in the KSL. Look forward to it. Do look forward to it. Platinum Heroes need Twisted Fairies to win. Yes, that is true. Platinum Heroes, if they want to make it to the playoffs, they need Twisted Fairy to take the win. So best of luck tomorrow. Best of luck. For now, we're going to be heading off for the time being. Again, we'll be back in 12 hours. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the support. Hope you all enjoyed yourself. And we will be coming back in 12 hours. Otherwise, stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. I say that we've had a lot of people streaming things other than StarCraft. There's been a lot of like Stormgate streaming going on. I have yet to touch Stormgate. I haven't really been able to play much of it yet, but I'll get around to it eventually. I'll get around to it. We'll get there. But the question becomes, do we have anyone to raid? There's Harston. There's Gabe is streaming his POV. Let's go. Gabe is streaming. We have Mr. Sadsack. We have Harston, of course. We'll find someone. We'll find someone to raid. So give them a chance, give them an opportunity, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for some Korean StarCraft League action, or for some WTL if you miss out on KSL. We'll be there for WTL as well. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. We'll see you guys next time. Ciao. Bye. All right, you can follow us. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. All things CranKy Ducklings. If you want to be notified when we go live, you can join our Discord server. You can be a part of the prediction game if you're interested over on our Discord server as well. Otherwise, see you next time. Until then, ciao. Bye. Ciao. See you next time.